As an historian, I occasionally get involved in discussions about alternative history, alternative facts. Well, this is alternative history, where a scenario is taken from history and the different outcomes applied to it. So I thought, let's try this with Brexit. I thought, well, let's go back to June the 24th last year. We wake up in the morning and the country has voted for Remain by 52% to 48%. So the country is divided, split down the middle. But nevertheless, democratic will of the people is for to remain. And then the government presses on. We join Schengen and we join the euro. Wasn't what was offered in the referendum, but nevertheless, we're having a hard remain. That's what the scenario is. The Ken Clarke faction has taken over the Conservative Party. Well, what a time that would be. But we know the reality is that it went the other way. We are actually being offered being forced on to us as a hard Brexit. And that was not what was on offer during the referendum. The referendum question made no reference to that. And indeed, the leading members of the Leave campaign were supportive of Britain staying in the single market. For example, Daniel Hannan, MEP, one of the leading Eurosceptics, he said in the lead up to the referendum vote, absolutely nobody is talking about threatening our place in the single market. Nigel Farage said this ironically. He said, wouldn't it be terrible if we were really like Norway and Switzerland? Really? He said. They're rich, they're happy, they're self-governing. Also, they're in, or one of them is in the single market. Owen Paterson, he said, only a madman would actually leave the market. And Luke Johnson, one of the directors of Folk Leave, he said, we have a great independent future, just as countries like Norway and Switzerland enjoy. Norway in the single market, Switzerland almost, but not quite, in the single market. And Aaron Banks, the financier of UKIP, he said, increasingly, the Norway option looks the best for the UK. In other words, Britain in the single market. So that's what we were offered during the referendum. We are now a divided nation. There's no doubt about that. And it's absolutely right that the government should address the demands of the 52% who voted for Leave. But the concerns of the 48% who voted Remain need to be addressed as well. It's nearly half the nation. And indeed, politically, within our country, there's only ever once been, since the Second World War, a party that has ever got 48% of the vote. It was actually in the 1950 election. It was two parties, actually. Conservatives on 48, Labour on 48.8. Bizarrely, Labour lost the election to the Conservatives, but that's just past the post view. But the point is that if you lose a general election, you don't give up on what you fight for. It's not the case that you would say to the government, well, we didn't vote for you, but we're just going to lie back and accept everything that you're going to throw at us because you won the general election. You actually fight for what you believe in. And indeed, that has been the story of the last few months. Because it was the people who forced the government to take Brexit to Parliament. It wasn't the politicians, it was the people, by taking this to court. And it was a cross-party alliance of MPs from all parties, and I have to say also from the Conservatives as well, as Labour, Lib Dems, SNP and so on, who forced the government's hand to give us a white paper that they initially refused to give us. But I have to say that in terms of the official Labour line, there has been a wall of silence. In terms of the walls are now the great fashion. I'm not quite sure who's going to be paying for this one, I suspect. But again, it will be the British people in terms of Labour's wall. I really wonder whether there's any fire in the belly of the Labour Party now in terms of fighting hard Brexit. I saw a news story yesterday which suggested that motorists spend 4 days a year driving around looking for a parking space, on average. And it made me think it's just a bit like the Labour Party. You know, you're driving around aimlessly with a bad driver, and every time you get to a round traffic light, some of your passengers jump out and run away. And in a sense, that's what we're getting with the Labour Party. And the irony, I have to say, of a 3-line whip from Jeremy Corbyn, the great rebel who rebelled 500 times against his own government. I find it quite shocking in a way. And I have to say even that there are some rebels on the Labour side who followed what Jeremy used to do last night, including 3 of your own whips. And sadly, only one MP, as I saw from the North East, was Catherine McConnell. I didn't call her Ministry. So. There's a great. Winston Churchill was a great European, and we can all remember his speech. You know, we'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them on the landing grounds. Well, Labour's new rewrite of that, and unusually for Labour, it's actually shortened it down rather than expanded it, which is my normal experience in Labour, which is we shall not bother fighting, we'll simply surrender. Because what happened last night was that you abandoned your front line of defence. The people had got us the opportunity to put barriers in the way to hard Brexit. Government won that vote easily because the Labour line was to support the government. And that was your first line of defence. That court case gave us an opportunity to have a decent Brexit package. And I'm not saying that we should stop Brexit, because ultimately there has been a vote to go down that route. What I'm saying is that we should be fighting for a soft Brexit. And I understand the difficulties that Labour are in. The danger for you is that you could lose that third of your vote that votes Brexit to real Brexit parties. And you may actually lose your pro-Europe vote to those parties who are pure pro-European. So this motion is not about stopping Brexit. It's about keeping the promises that were made during the referendum. It's about standing up to the Brexit extremists. It's about jobs and prosperity. And it's about fighting for a future that's actually worth fighting for. And I therefore urge you to support the motion and support soft Brexit.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
I second this motion, Madam Mayor. Britain's membership of the single market is right for our economy, is in accordance with our democracy, and says a great deal about what kind of country and town we want to be. The single market has allowed Britain to prosper and become one of the strongest economies in the world, and given people the ability to easily
Colleagues,
travel,
can we have some order,
study,
please?
and do business across Europe. It has reduced barriers and costs, so more businesses and individuals can trade products across it. It has increased choice for consumers. It has lowered costs for both consumers and businesses. Leaving the single market is bad for Britain's economy and for Gateshead's economy. And there's no democratic mandate for leaving this 14 trillion euro jewel in the EU's crown. Theresa May has claimed that people voted to leave the single market. He did not. He would never ask this question. In fact, polls show that 90% of voters want to remain part of the single market. And it is a theft of democracy to take Britain out of the world's most lucrative market against the wishes of the electorate. In any case, a member of a parliament is a trustee and not a delegate. As the Whig Edmund Burke pointed out over 200 years ago, a representative owes you not his industry only, but his judgment, and he betrays instead of serving you if he sacrifices it to your opinion. But membership of the single market is about more than economics, or even democracy. With the full freedoms of the single market, including free movement of people, it is also about what kind of town or country we want to be. The old divide of left versus right. It's gradually giving way to a new divide, open versus closed. There are those who are open to trade, investment and people, open to the challenges and opportunities that globalization offers, and eager to embrace change and innovate. But this open society has its enemies, the advocates of the closed society. The closed society is isolationist, it is fearful, it is parochial, it is backward-looking, and it is insular. It calls for walls, not bridges, and for protectionism, not free trade. In Britain, its standard bearers are Theresa May and Nigel Farage. The 44,000 Gateshead residents who voted to remain, and the many Leave voters who did not vote to leave the single market, have already had an indication, last night's second reading of the Brexit bill, of just how many Labour MPs failed to stand up for an open economy and an open society. I hope that they rethink their position in advance of the third reading.
Councillor Eagle.
Madam Mayor, I wasn't going to speak to this motion at all. But we're not going to take lessons of the people opposite talking about the theft of democracy. I didn't want her to leave Europe. I voted to remain. I tried to convince as many people as I knew to remain. But if I want to talk about the theft of democracy, the question wasn't asked, you're right. The question was, do you want to stay, do you want to remain? There was no specifics about any different ones. But the theft of democracy started with the party opposite Madam Mayor. When they campaigned in an election that they would abolish tuition fees and then form part of a government that tripled them, didn't talk to me about the theft of democracy. And that's all I've got to say, Madam Mayor, because I hate rhetoric. And that's what I hear from that party opposite for.
Thank you. Councillor Fanning.
Only very briefly to say that Labour members will be voting against this motion, I think, so possibly needs an explanation of that. I didn't disagree an awful lot with what was said. Danny, I think it was a very eloquent speech. Points that we made and should have been made during the referendum campaign. And you mentioned the 44,000 people in Gateshead who voted to remain. Of course, 58,000 voted to leave. And although it was, the country is split, the decision of the nation was by less than 2% to leave. And you're absolutely right, they weren't asked whether it was a soft exit or a hard exit. They weren't asked about the European single market. They were asked, do you want to leave the European Union? And the answer was yes. And therefore, I think that as Democrats, we have no choice to, when the first one has been taken, and probably further votes in Parliament. And I think that I agree with all the things that's been said. I think it's economically a disaster. That's my own personal position with Democrats, and therefore those discussions need to take place. Personally, I think when the results are concluded from those negotiations, I would support the fact that we need to put that back to the British people so the British people know exactly what they are voting for on this occasion. Because that's the test. It's not about whether, the Theresa May and David Davis, and, supported by Bill Cash, right, should go off and do some negotiations with the European Union over what terms of that exit. Because we're not in terms of exit would be, we don't want any immigration book here, we're not going to the European, members of the single market, and therefore there will be tariffs across every import and export to the UK. So let's wait and see what the results of the negotiations are. I think the only honourable and democratic thing to do, given the choice that was in front of Parliament last night and will be in front of Parliament next week, was to vote for the triggering of Article 50. Because that's what I said, the majority of the electorate of the country were in Gateshead was actually by more than 60%, I think it was 64%
you. I didn't intend to speak either, but I do need to respond to a couple of the points that have been made. On tuition fees, none of us come out good. Your manifesto was not to introduce them. You did the same thing. We did it with horrendous electoral consequences, and you will say those were richly deserved, and that's a fair point. I think where we are now is that anything which divides progressive forces, not only nationally but internationally, is poor. And so I hope that Martin is right that the divisions we saw yesterday between the progressive forces in Parliament are replaced with solidity once the negotiations have gone through. The one point that I thought might be mentioned, but hasn't been, is that hard Brexit means the end of the United Kingdom. I mean, it's quite clear that will mean the end of the United Kingdom, because Scotland will break, and a number of us will be wanting to go across the border with them, because Scotland certainly didn't vote for the end of the single market. And if you think about the three options, hard Brexit, leaving the European Union while staying in the single market, and remain, none of them have a majority. I mean, that's the reality. That was the reality in June the 23rd. It would be the reality again. Nothing has a majority. It does mean that we go back to, Daniel was pointing out Edmund Burke, we go back to the fact that a representative democracy means a representative democracy, and Parliament needs to sort it out, and probably the most sensible position around which the majority of people would coalesce, not happily, would be leaving the European Union but remaining in the single market. None of us would be entirely happy with that, but it wouldn't be as bad as the alternatives for people on both the right and the left. But the sooner we all get our acts together, and that may well be after third reading, but once the negotiations are concluded, the better, because we shouldn't be debating this stuff against each other.
Councillor Green.
Very brief. I heard it said that this motion is not anti-Brexit. I'm struggling to accept that. It's clearly anti-Brexit. I can't see how there could be any form of Brexit, hard, soft, or part-boiled, without triggering Article 50. And the leader is absolutely right. The right way to approach this, given the vote last year, which all of us this chamber regret, is for the negotiations to take place following triggering of Article 50, and then let's consider the outcome and see how bad it really is, and the nation should decide on it on that basis.
Thank you, colleagues. We'll now move to a vote. Can I remind you all that when the vote is taken, you only press your voting buttons after the countdown timer on the screen has begun. It's press button 1 for for and 2 for against.